Christian and Zach after today's game?
Yeah, I mean, Zach has had issues prior to being here with the ligament in his elbow, and he felt some discomfort there, and it led to further discomfort down the hand. So, I mean, I got a mid-game update, when I went back there. I believe he was seeing Dr. Rapay, so I'll know more specifically tomorrow if you guys are interested, but it didn't seem good. He came out and hugged his teammates, and they were obviously concerned for him. But that one's, that one doesn't look good. With Maui, he's had some discomfort in his back and had it looked at, and I know there's some issues there, but I don't know how serious, but definitely wasn't available tonight. And then Simo, all that stuff just happened today. You get off the road recruiting, and you make a lineup, and then some guys aren't available, so you readjust. So I kind of stay out of those guys' way, and then obviously, we'll get with Woody and get the full update.
Just what went wrong today, I guess? Not enough hits?
Yeah, I mean, I would say you look at the box score, there's 1 million guys that are listed on there for us. So I think there's some improper decisions there on the timing of guys on the mound, and also put some guys in some positions that maybe they're not used to. You can call it, in part because of injury, but really just trying to go for broke on offense. I think our offense is capable of really good things, but for whatever reason, it's a little strangled right now. So, you try and do some things, and obviously when you don't win, you look back on it and would probably do several differently. But also their team showed up and played. I mean, right out of the chute, they were hitting and they didn't stop. You could tell they were relaxed at the beginning of the game, but when they sensed they had an opportunity to win the game, it kind of ramped up, and they were excited on defense and seemed to be even more relaxed in the ninth than they were at the start of the game in the inning that they, a couple balls just past some guys' gloves, but, Halvey's got great stuff, and they earned what they got for the most part other than the drop ball.
What's kind of the message to the team out there after the game?
Just like I said, kind of talked about, it's our job to put them in a position to succeed. Probably need to do things a little differently. And then also when you get back off a trip like that, there is no time to, for lack of a better word, be hungover from the loss or still be down from the loss, and then to kind of be slowly building up for the weekend, which every SEC team or any conference that's out there, you can fall into that trap. And whether we did that tonight or not, I don't know. It's hard to say, but I do think some guys that are usually pretty good with the ball in their hand on the mound didn't look like they were ready to do that. And then some of the offensive patterns that took place this weekend carried over into today. And again, having said all that, some of those guys played really well. I mean, Brock, their lefty, got good stuff. You can see that on video, no doubt, but his stat sheet probably isn't going into today what he wanted it to be, but with this, it'll be improved, and he was lights out for those guys.
What do you kind of say to this team now, I guess, after the last 5 days and heading into the weekend you have ahead?
There's no more talking, it's doing. May's the month you want to look forward to as a student athlete in college. Ideally, finals get behind you somewhere in there early. Freshmen, to me, like Russell showed tonight, should be looked at almost like sophomores. They've been here for almost the whole year. The weather's nice. The competition is fierce, whether it's conference or not. So it's time to do. And maybe our part of that is rather than try and mix and match too much, go with who we think are the guys and ride them out.
Do you expect to start Lindsey again on Friday?
He's in position to. We all went recruiting and get back, an hour before the team meal today, and everybody's kind of scrambling, and you're also trying to shake off the trip and get ready for today. So we'll chat about it, but don't plan on doing anything crazy this weekend.
Is that the same for the other two as well, Dolander and Beam, or maybe they're looking at?
Yeah, I mean, Doe's thrown the ball as well as he has all year, and you could call it a mulligan for Beam, or I don't know, maybe getting caught up in other stuff, or maybe feeling the pressure of we didn't play well the first 2 days there, whatever it was. that seemed to be a little bit of an aberration for him.
Tony, you're around these guys obviously a lot. You get the sense that they're kind of surprised by how tough things have been the past few weeks, and when you get used to winning as a program, I guess it just sort of becomes a routine.
Yeah, I don't think surprised. I mean, frustrated is an obvious word to use, but various emotions. But it's a little bit of a roller coaster from, the regrouping process of, let's restart, or let's get it going now, or let's take this approach, or let's switch this up or that up, and you don't get immediate feedback. It turns into a roller coaster, and again, this time of year, your best just keep it simple. Run around out there and enjoy playing, and you better compete the way that you plan to in your head. Otherwise, you're going to look back and regret it. There's no do-overs right now, and I don't mean to belittle the very beginning of the season, but one thing you could argue at the beginning of the year is, well, it's a lesson learned, or we got to work through these things, or we need reps for the freshmen, whatever. Again, it's towards the end of the year, so it's do or do not.
How confident are you in your team's leadership to dig themselves out of this hole? You talk about kind of it's time to quit talking and start doing.
Sure.
Do they have the leadership to do that?
I think there's some guys that are candidates to do that are kind of reaching a boiling point, that it's either, I do something now or I put it in my back pocket. And I think if you're a guy who's in position to be a leader, you want to win. So you're not going to put it in your back pocket. You're going to, do whatever you feel you need to do in the dugout or to prepare for your outing or at bat and then out in the field. So there's it's not, blind leading the blind or whatever you want to call it in there. There's guys that are capable of doing that and also, are in the batter's box at key times or on the mound at key times. So a big part of being a leader is just doing your job. And then when you're, pretty sound at that, you can kind of start to branch out a little bit and make sure you're herding everybody in.
Would it be good for some guys to reach a boiling point?
Yeah, I think so. Again, to stick with that theme, it's the time of it's not Christmas. It's the time of year for baseball to be, do it or do not, like I said. And I think sometimes you got to, it's not like dodgeball, whatever the guy is that gets angry and then he turns into the best dodgeball player ever or whatever. But yeah, you got to take a stand. Take a stand and have a little pride in what you represent, what your program represents, and what the things you want to be judged by. Again, I think I said it. I don't know. Obviously, I was perturbed about something else right at the start of the interview on day 3 over there. Something totally random, but I think I said it. You can't judge yourself just on wins. I mean, there's going to be one team that wins the national championship. So what do you, when you get back in your car and drive back to your dorm or your apartment, do you want everyone that was at the game to say about you? And that's what I'm getting at.
I know the couple more guys. Wins haven't been there the last couple of days, but are they responding the right way, the way you want them to?
Yeah, I mean, today, I think, maybe you wait a little bit and, okay, we've been told, this will be, you're playing either an in-state team or a good program or a team that beat us last year, but, be ready for a dogfight and come back from, Arkansas and wear your pride on your chest a little bit. And maybe it took a little while to get that going. But there's plenty of want to, and again, any decisions or sticking with a guy or making a quick switch or something like that comes from a place of us wanting to win. And sometimes you spin the wheels a little too much. So maybe a couple days to reset here and play at home and keep things simple and make it just all about this weekend is the best approach possible.
Tony, you've been around this game a while. You've been around a team that's sort of this left-hand dominant offensively and just on a daily basis, how, to get matchups and things, how challenging can that be? Right.
No, I can't recall one that is this left-handed dominant. I mean, it was a big topic in the summer. It was a big stressor, and, everyone says it was great the guys we lost, off last year's team, Cortland Lawson and guys like that. It's great. We want our guys to go. We have not had one guy turn down an offer, whether it be a free agent offer or, to one of our guys when they get drafted. And that's kind of the way we want it. But we did lose a lot of guys that were supposed to be incomers. And so it kind of swings over to the left-handed side. And I got to be honest with you, it is a matchup deal, but I don't know that that's been as big of an issue as we kind of thought it potentially could be when we played Wake Forest and even played Memphis. A couple of the lefties they showed us. There's other areas, if we shored up, I think that would switch the win column, not if we just magically added a right-handed hitter.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.